Now we will explain chapter number 2, an elementary school classroom in a slum of English. This chapter written by Stephen Spender. I explain stanza 1. The poet here describes the pathetic and miserable condition of the children sitting in a classroom in a slum school. The children faces unlike the usual children of school, they are far away from the beautiful sight of nature. They look weak and hungry. Their unkept hair looks like rootless weeds on their pale faces. Unlike other school children who are usually energetic and full of life, these children seems withered and lifeless. The children of slum are also unwanted in society, just as weeds are unwanted in a garden. A tall girl in the classroom is very depressed. She keeps her head down. Being burdened by sad thought, the girl is perhaps physically and mentally exhausted due to her poverty. The other students of the class are not in a better situation either, just like a girl who is burdened with the problem in her life. There is a boy sitting in the class who is in thin as paper, undoubtedly. Because of malnutrition, he has big eyes like those of a rat. At another boy in the classroom has inherited his father's arthritis. Because of the disease, he has stunted growth and his bones are twisted. He has inherited this disease from his father and recites his lesson from his desk in a mellow but weak voice. There is another sweet boy sitting at the back of the class. Mellow but weak voice. There is another sweet boy sitting at the back of the class. He is sitting there unnoticed and dreaming of squirrels playing in a tree. The dull and monotonous atmosphere in the classroom is perhaps unable to arrest his attention. Now stanza 2, which tell us the poet describes the dirty classroom. The walls of the classroom are pale and dirty and give a rather unpleasant feeling. On the walls are displayed the name of people who have given donation. There is a picture of Shakespeare on the wall. The picture of domes of big cities represent the quality of life in those cities. The early morning sky is shown as cloudless in another picture. There is also a picture of the beautiful Towles Valley. A region is the Australian alpine province adorned with flowers. The world map, which divides the world into countries big and small, symbolically gives the children the whole world. But all these pictures have no meaning to these impoverished children. The world depicted on this wall is not the world of these children. Their world does not certain huge domains of prosperity or the scenic beauty presented in the picture. Unfortunately, their world is painted with fog, the fog of hopelessness and hunger. Their future is grim and uncertain and sealed with a dark and dull sky. The poet again says that their world is far away from the actual world of river and caves. These things are like stars in the sky which they cannot touch. Now stanza 3, which tells us the poet called the portrait of Shakespeare big because it is meaningless for children going to a slum school. There is no quality education in this school. The children here will never learn about Shakespeare's work The map is also a bad example because of these children. Their classroom is the whole world for them. There is no world beyond their poverty, hunger and hopelessness, so these maps are unreal for these children. The beautiful world with its offering like the sunship, love and care only tempt them to steal because they cannot have all these worldly things. They live a cramped whole like hutmen, and there is no end of their misery. There is a perpetual state of gloom, hunger and despair. Their bodies look like garbage heap. They are very skinny and their bones are peeping out of their skin. The state of poverty is intensified by the fact that the glasses which these children wear are cracked and look like broken pieces of a bottle. All of their life is being destroyed here in the slum. The slum is like a blot as big as doom on the map of these children. Example, the life of these children. Now stanza 4, which tells us these children will continue to suffer this hell unless government official like government inspector or educationist who visit such a school come forward to help them. The poet wants to civilized world to bridge the gap between them and the world of these children. They should offer these children a glimpse of a better world so that the map becomes their window to the beautiful and charming world outside. Then these windows of the elementary school classroom which confine all their hope and dream must be broken so that these children can be brought out in the green field away from the 50 surrounding. The poet regards that these children who should be allowed to run freely on the golden sand under a clear sky make progress. They should be allowed to have quality education. The poet feels that education can help them immensely because according to him, history is written by those whose language has the warmth and energy of the sun. Thank you. This chapter is finished.